On today's Buckeye Roast, we've got an injury update on Jeremiah Smith. The superstar spoke, and we broke down what he had to say. We're also looking into the history of guaranteeing a win in the game. What happens when players or coaches speak maybe too soon? Then we debut a new segment, Talking to the Timeline, where we react to the most viral tweets and clips from Buckeye Nation this week. And to wrap it up, we'll send it over to Ron Snow for your official Ohio State-Michigan weather report. I'm Chris Drew, and this is the Buckeye Roast with Ron and Q, right here on Dead Air Sports. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back for another episode of the Buckeye Roast. It's your boy Ron James here with my guy QP Ski. Q, how you doing?
I'm good on this terrific Tuesday. A couple more days so we eat pretty well. So no complaints for me. The game is right around the corner. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have my correct microphone on today. Your light is looking great today. If we could keep the giggling to a minimum, we could be off to a great episode today.
Might be real podcasters today. We will see.
No promises. Q, I don't even know what to describe this as a way to start the show today. I have a blind resume comparison, Q. I have two quarterbacks through the first 6 games of their careers. Q, which one of these quarterbacks would you take?
Let's see here. I'm going to go with quarterback B.
Going with quarterback B?
Yes.
I mean, it's so... it might be the cough syrup. Q's sick. He got himself a prescription. And he picks himself Jamarcus Russell over JJ McCarthy. It must be the cough syrup, Q.
Clearly, Jamarcus Russell was balling a lot more than I thought he was, but a 57.9% passer rating. Jesus Christ.
JJ McCarthy out here not having the greatest start to his career. Q, who could have saw this coming? The handoff merchant is not having success throwing the ball in the highest league of football in the world.
Yeah, I was about to say that, the handoff merchant, as we called him. And I think, too, we all knew JJ could throw, but they wouldn't let him. And obviously, you go to the next level and try to really learn to be a passer in the NFL. That's not exactly the place to do it. I mean, 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions is a bit egregious. And, yeah, looking worse than Jamarcus Russell, as he called it, the biggest bust of all time. Well, that's not too well for starting a career.
A great way to start off Hate Week with their most recent number one or their first round pick quarterback looking like potentially the greatest bust of all time. If he doesn't get things together, I couldn't think of a more glorious way to start a show during Hate Week.
Yeah, JJ's not balling out, but we continue. He won't be playing this week. Other guys to talk about.
Q, we have a ton to get into this show. I think we're about to hit records on the amount of clips we play today.
Yeah, we might do it. Well, play the song and let's jump into it.
How's a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right onto the computer.
Dead air.
We're still climbing. This is really awesome. Obviously, I've had some things happen, but the work never stops. And I wanted to thank you guys for 4,300 subs. Again, every like, every comment, every share, it all helps this channel continue to grow. And obviously, the big goal is 5,000 subs before the game. And we can only do that with your guys' continued help and support. So again, thanks for making this community awesome. You guys kind of are the best part of my day, and I appreciate you guys. So again, want to get back to Ron and Cube. Want to thank you guys for 4,300 subs.
4,381 Q. We are so close. And as I say that, 4,382. We are adding subscribers by the second. We have a goal of 5,000 subs by the game. Chris and I are doing a live watch party together on Saturday for the game, and hopefully we hit that goal before then. I told Chris, hey, I'm probably going to need a 4400 video because we might cross that mark before we finish recording. And even if we don't finish recording, we're probably going to have to play the video because by the time everyone sees this tomorrow morning, we're going to be at 4,400 subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, they have been running it up, so appreciate all the subs and all the members. Excuse me. Appreciate you. Obviously, some behind-the-scenes content for members that Chris Drew is doing and cooking up. That's going great. But, yeah, you guys have been awesome. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that sub button if you haven't, because a lot of big stuff's happening around here. So, again, appreciate you, and we're moving on up.
If they don't hit the like button, we can only assume one thing.
I can't believe how selfish you all are.
We just got to make sure they don't take the like away. That's just the they like the video. They're like,
do not double like.
Idiots. Unlike.
Q, the moment everyone's been waiting for, we have breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
I declared yesterday on the show that there would be zero injury talk the rest of the week on this channel. And Q, breaking news, I lied.
Fast, quick, and in a hurry.
I don't know how reliable the source is, but I do have an injury update on Jeremiah Smith.
First things first, you know it's on everybody's mind. You know the question. How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing?
I'm feeling good. Dealing with a little situation, injury-wise, but I should be good to go Saturday.
I don't know who that guy is, but he said he's going to be good to go for Saturday. And after the performance we saw this past weekend, we sure could use potentially an alien at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, the only other source I need is doctor. So can you put him on there? Let's get him on the Downs Business podcast, and then I'll really be good to go.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith makes an appearance on Caleb Downs' podcast. Talk about a rollout, man. Chris Drew, with all his production on these Lost Signal episodes, the Downs to Business rollout, I'm like, Q, I'm trying to keep up, and I just can't. The production value around this Ohio State media sphere is just through the roof. But, talk about a rollout. Oh, you know what? Check out my podcast. I'm going to have the most exclusive. Ryan Day won't let this information into the media. And Caleb Downs is like, you know what? I know we don't put out an injury report, but the Downs to Business podcast does. And I'm going to let you know Jeremiah Smith is going to be ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, I would say definitely the Downs brothers has a little bit of resources hanging around. I don't know. They might be able to bring in a producer or two and help them out, but they're doing a great job with their podcast. The guests have been rolling. I mean, Caleb he's literally like, hey, I'm gonna give everybody on this team beats, but when I call you to hop on the podcast, remember I gave you this pair of beats. So you're on the hook now. You're like, hey, what do I owe you? Don't worry. It's one of those things. You ever have you do somebody a favor and you're like, hey, what do I owe you for this? Don't worry, I'll call you. That is one of those.
But when they call you, it's going to be 10x what you did for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you this beats, but don't worry. If I need something, I'll call you.
Absolutely, it has me reconsidering who's managing the budget around here. We spent all of our money on Chris Drew. We could have been buying exclusives from Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I just need you to do one. Hey, JJ, can you cut this commercial real quick? I am playing on Saturday. Back to the Buckeye.
Q, I wanted to take a look into some history around the game this week and take a little bit of a non-traditional approach because we've talked all season pretty much that there's no point to analyze this game because these rivalry games feel like they're played in a parallel universe. You never know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter who their quarterback is. It doesn't matter who's injured, what the weather is. Anything could happen in these games. So why are we going to go over the X's and O's? Let's talk about some lore around the game. And I wanted to look into the history of guaranteeing a win in this rivalry. In the first, and let me know, I know we're kind of young around here. Not really. But if I missed one, let me know in the chat. But I have 3 memorable ones that I wanted to go over. And the first instance that I could come up with, man, was it disappointing to see who it was.
I guarantee it. We'll beat Ohio State and we'll be in Pasadena on January 1st.
Now he must back it up.
Jim Harbaugh in 1986 guaranteed a win over the Buckeyes and then did it. He goes out there and beats the Buckeyes 26-24. My first instance that I was able to find in the rivalry of someone guaranteeing a win.
Yeah, crazy. It comes from Jim Harbaugh back in the day. I'm just looking at that TV production like, wow, that is crazy. You just don't see that much anymore. But, yeah, man, I mean, obviously they got it done 1986. I mean, we were both looking at the score because I wasn't alive to confirm it, but every source says it was 26-24. So obviously Jim Harbaugh went out there, he taught the shit, he got it done. So we got to make sure that continues because we had somebody who said it on our end this time around.
And I just want to note right now, I tried my research. If I missed something earlier than 1986, let me know down in the comments. Cute, because I know I'm sitting here like paranoid that like if I miss some super obvious one early on in the rivalry and like someone screaming at the TV right now, I'm worried about that. But I have another one more recent, and it feels like the media bullied this one out of them.
Guarantee a win, and if you did, what would coach say or do?
If I guarantee that win?
First of all, would you go as far as Jim Harbaugh did and guarantee that Michigan will beat Ohio State?
Yeah, I do. I do. That's how I feel. I believe firmly in my brothers and this team and this coaching staff. And as a captain, I'll take that stand. Why not?
On that note, thank you very much.
That was a trap.
that very much was so. You could just tell that Jerry Emick does not work for Michigan because that would not have slid over at Ohio State. He would have took the second to jump in and not allow that. Yeah, they kind of bullied him into it because what are you really going to say at that point? Guarantee a win? I won't guarantee it, but I'm pretty solid what's going to happen Saturday. They'll be like, yeah, they're going to lose. So he really had no choice at that point. It was wrong. And unfortunately for him, he ran to this guy. I think he wore number 7, and he put it into that.
Yeah, in 2018, Dwayne Haskins beat the Michigan Wolverines 62-39. So we're at 50% so far in guarantees. Q, do you like guarantees? Like, do you think it's risky? Do you give them? Is it only cool when they do it and they actually get it right, or do you applaud the boldness even if they get it wrong? We've watched now two declarations by the Wolverines. They seem to be the more confident ones as far as making this declaration. 50-50 right here. Do you like it now that you've seen it once backfire? Once turned out pretty cool.
No, I don't like guarantees. It's just a fact of like anything could happen, especially too if I'm the one guaranteeing. Let's say I go out there on Saturday and my hamstring tightens up, then I can't play. I just put it on everybody else. It's like there's so many things beyond your control that I don't necessarily think it's bold to go out there and guarantee. Now, if you say that, you go out there and do it, you know, the praise like Jim Harbaugh, as we saw earlier. But unfortunately, like if you go out there and it doesn't go well, I mean, Karan Higdon, how many people are going to know that name? And how many people really know that name if he didn't go out there and say that? And we're talking about it like I barely heard that name before. I didn't even remember it in the back of my memory bank. So we were only bringing him up because he guaranteed it and it flopped. So I don't know if the risk reward is exactly worth it. But for me, it's like, you know, if they were asking personally, it was like, no, I'm not guaranteeing anything. Because if I go and trip on my way, get on the bus, then put on everybody else to get it done.
Q. I'm looking at this list and we have another guarantee from the Wolverines. And this one, it's a pretty strong one.
Never losing to Ohio State, baby. We ain't never losing, baby.
I watched that video and I was like, oh, you better not come back next year because I promise you're going to lose to Ohio State. Donovan Edwards, after 3 straight wins, declares, I promise you we're never losing to Ohio State. And they come back and win 13-10 the following season. They're now 2-1 in guarantees in the history of guarantees in the game.
Yeah, I feel like that. Excuse me. I feel like that one. He said that's because that was a post victory. Like, if he had to say it the actual week of the game, he wouldn't have said it. If he had to say
Do you think when he said that he thought he would be on the Michigan team next year?
No, no.
You thought it was mission complete when he said that?
It's one of those. Oh, I can say this now because I probably will never have to see them again. And if I do, nobody will really remember I said this. I'm just saying the locker room post victory. So it's one of those. Like, did he really feel that way? No. But you know, when you hit something, man, you hit your first home run, you start talking crazy. I've been able to bat 42 times, never hit a home run before. I hit a home run. Man, they should never pitch to me again. This is just what I do up here. Like, sir, we've been watching you for years.
Do you think so? You think that takes away from the legitimacy of the guarantee, being that it was in the post game in a candid moment that he didn't necessarily come out to the media and say, "Hey, I'm coming back next year, and I promise you, I'm beating Ohio State."
You know what, Ron? Right now, I promise. Ohio State goes out there and they take care of business Saturday. I'm getting on my phone. I'm going to my Instagram story. I'm saying, we never lose to the Michigan again. That last week was a fluke. It is never happening again. And you know why I can say that? Because no one will remember the following year we go and lose to Michigan in like 2026. They're not going to remember that.
There's going to be some Michigan podcaster doing a reaction video to this. And hey, that man Q said they're never losing to Michigan again. Look at them now.
Well, send me the link. I'll come in a comment.
Q, which brings us to, and again, I am only a part-time researcher. My only guarantee that I could find from the Buckeye side in this game from one Jeremiah Smith. I just hate them. Just something about them for the next 2 years. I promise you, I will not lose to them. I cannot lose to them in the next 2 years.
Okay, so a couple things here. One, this is why I don't like guarantees, because we're a week away from Jeremiah Smith being out for the game. Hopefully he's back playing, says he feels good.
Excuse me.
First things first, you know it's on everybody's mind. You know the question. How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing?
I'm feeling good. Dealing with a little situation, injury-wise, but I should be good to go Saturday.
See, now look, if you actually break that clip down, when Caleb Downs says, how he doing, how he feeling, he's like, oh, shit, I did say we're never going to lose to them again. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, y'all. I'm going to play and not set my team up like that. Yeah, man, and also, too, another thing is I feel like, Ron, we've been watching Ohio State for a very long time. Until recent history, I think both of us, regardless of how close the game was, really had no fear of losing to Michigan because we really didn't. Like, you take out a couple of things, 2003, 2011. Outside of that, didn't really lose to Michigan at all. What was the point of going up there? I guarantee you won't lose to Michigan. Oh, like we don't lose to them every year? Like, there's just no room for players to guarantee like that. So we got a couple of Michigan ones here, and I see because obviously they've lost over and over again, so they're trying to break the streak. But it took now a 4-year slide for someone to be like, all right, now me actually guaranteeing a win against Michigan is going to actually mean something because we haven't beat them in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I didn't even think of that. Like, what was the point of Ohio State guaranteeing wins? Like, they had been guaranteeing wins for 20 years at that point. Like,
showing up is guaranteed a win.
It's like, it's gonna be rainy and cloudy in Pittsburgh. Like, oh, what a prediction! Like, probably the easiest city to be a meteorologist in: rain and overcast.
Yeah, really. So I see why we don't have too many, but in a time where we may need guarantees the most, when Urban used to say, when I needed you the most, you gave me your very best. When we needed a guarantee, Jeremiah Smith now has come out to save us, and he is guaranteed on Saturday. It looks like he's going to play according to himself, not his doctor. So we'll take it with a grain of salt. But I think we should be good to go for Saturday because I have faith in Jeremiah Smith, JJ for president.
Q, you know something that I have faith in?
What?
I have faith that by the time this episode airs tomorrow morning, this channel will be at 4,400 subscribers. So I'm going to get a message from our sponsors real quick.
Okay, thank you for 4,400 subs. It's, I told everybody I would do one of these videos for every 100. You guys are like smashing goal after goal after goal. The big goal that we have is by the end of the day, Saturday, to be at 5,000 subs. I'm really excited. Every like, every comment, every share that you guys do really helps the channel. And make sure you tap in with us for the watch party on Saturday. We'll be watching the game, me and Ron, hanging out, giving commentary, and trying to continue to give good content to this channel. Thank you guys again, and yes, you're going to have to keep looking at this little red car because I love the red car, and I'm really proud of it, but I do want to get it back to Ron and Q. Again, thank you again for 4,400 subs.
What the hell is a podcast? I mean, why don't you just tape it? What are you doing?
You don't have to tape it these days, Frank. You just record it right onto the computer.
Dead air.
Ron, something real quick, and I just noticed. Are we sure Chris is not like 40 years old? Like, just looking at his shows and his show production, he is so deep in his nostalgia bag. His show should not look this vintage, but yet it is this vintage. That are we sure Chris isn't like 50 or something?
Well, it goes with the entire theme of the channel. If we want to peel back the curtain for a second in the origins of Dead Air Sports, when Chris and I were originally talking about the start of this channel, we said we wanted to add a radio type of feel to the show. We wanted to add more bits, more production elements. We wanted to sound more communal. We wanted to just up the production because both of us have a shared love for sports radio and grew up listening to it and nerd out about it all the time. And Dead Air Sports is kind of the name comes from, we wanted to have some sort of radio pun element to the name of what we were doing. Lost Signal continues to build on that with what Chris is doing over there. So we're just really building on the nostalgia of the type of media and the kind of media that we wanted to make and hear. And so that's kind of why Chris is so heavy on this nostalgia theme. I think it's just kind of building on the idea of like, hey, we want to make media the way we want to make media. And if that includes giggling, it includes giggling.
we will try to cut down on the giggling. No promises. But I love the vintage feel. There's a little backstory, but talk with our community. I always talk to Emily, and I share her with my old school camcorders and my vintage cameras. So I'm really into it as well, along with Chris. So again, like the video, sub to the channel, and continue to enjoy your trip back in time here at Dead Air Sports.
Absolutely. Q, we have a new segment, and thankfully I wrote the name in the notes because I told Chris what the name was for the intro, and I have since forgot it since coming up with it, 7 hours ago. And the new segment is called Talking to the Timeline. I had the idea of, hey, let's go find these viral clips that are on the timeline and talk about them.
So I'm going to lay the point here, because I think they're the better team. I think Ohio State is up and away the best team in college football this year. And I think that winning 34-24 is a cover, or 34-21. It doesn't have to be a blowout. It can be a close, competitive game. But are they not 10 points better? And and I actually believe that Ryan Day has broken the hex.
Okay, this is where I am with you. I do not think Ryan Day is going to try to win this game in a certain fashion. I think that was the problem last year. They tried to win it the way Michigan would have won it, but who cares? You have better players, use your better players. Now, a couple of your better players are hurt. Are you going to get?
And that's where he's wrong, because Jeremiah Smith is healthy. At most, one of their better players is hurt. Q, I wanted to get your thoughts on the idea that Ryan Day has broken the hex. We talked yesterday. Was he going to fall for the rock fight and fall right into this trap of trying to beat Michigan the Michigan way? Has Ryan Day gotten out of Ryan Day's head after that game? We've heard players come out and say Ryan Day's been a new person ever since that loss to the team up north. Do you believe that he has gotten over that mental hurdle?
No, I don't believe it. Now, it is okay for people to guess that the way Ryan Day has operated in this new year. Since winning the Natty, you feel like he's a different person. a different ball coach. You just see that level of intensity. So I can see people clamoring that, but there is no test for the game except the game. Like it's like playing under pressure. You don't know how you're going to respond under pressure until you actually do it. There's going to be this game is going to have more pressure on Ryan Day than the Natty had. It's going to have more pressure on Ryan Day than the Texas game had. It's going to have more pressure on Ryan Day than the Oregon game had because it's different. And this is a circumstance where he's failed at multiple times, even with better players, better coaches, better schemes. He has found a way to blow that every time. So, I mean, we won't know. We can guess, but you really won't know until Saturday, until Ryan Day walks out there. And even Ryan Day himself can say, yeah, I feel ready. I'm a different. I'm not going to let the other stuff bother me. You get into the game, you get under pressure. What do they say? You revert to what you know. So we're going to find out on Saturday what Ryan Day is going to revert to, because we all don't feel like Ohio State is going to go out there and wash Michigan. I don't care what the talent. I don't care what the talent says. We know how this game goes. We know it gets dicey. And you know what's funny? I was watching the watch back with you and Chris, and y'all did it. And you just go back to these games, and it's like, we just talked about it. There was no guarantees because Ohio State won all these games. But unlike another rivalry, when you actually watch all of these games, these are not clear-cut victories at this time. We look when Dwayne Haskins came in the 2017 game, we were down 6 late in the third, where he just couldn't come in and hand the ball off and, walk out with a win. They had to go take that victory. That moment comes in every iteration of the game, probably besides the 2014 one, where I remember that was actual, like, they just smacked Michigan. It wasn't even close. Really, outside of that, it's been a determinant game where you got to go take it. And the thing about Urban Meyer's teams, and Ron, I don't know if you ever had this feeling watching Urban Meyer's teams, but you probably did too, along with the community out here. You knew no matter how close the games were with Urban Meyer's teams, there was going to come a moment where they were just going to turn it on. It may have been late third. It may have been early fourth. It may have been late fourth, but you're like, we just don't lose these games. And that is something Urban Meyer has over Ryan Day. Ryan Day, most times when we play these non-opponents, like you go to Iowa, yeah, we usually smack them. These games that shouldn't be close, where Urban found a way to make them close, Ryan Day just goes out and takes care of his business. In these big-time games, really until last season, you felt like you get in a close game and you're like, I don't know with Ryan Day, man. Like, this is the time where Urban's teams would just turn it up another level and secure out the victory. Ryan Day really hadn't proven that till he went on that run last year. And the reason we had that thought about Ryan Day is because when those moments that came up in the Michigan game until now, instead of his team taking that Urban moment, he took the old Jim Harbaugh moment, and they crumbled in those moments. They've done it year after year after year. So to truly break that hex, he's going to have to go out there and do it on Saturday. I don't care how confident they are right now. There's going to come a moment where he's going to have to take a deep breath and go through it, and we'll see if Ryan Day has truly broken the hex.
Q, anybody that's been watching us for years has heard us talk about this moment in the rivalry, and it was one of our first pieces of content together. We had just landed our deal with Playback, and we're doing a reaction for the game on Playback, and it's going into the fourth quarter, and there's a Michigan player standing on the bench riling up the entire team, and it cuts to commercial break, and it just goes silent on on Playback, and we go, there's no one on our sideline talking like that right now. I know this team. I know it's just not happening. And this is the first year where I feel confident that if someone needs to speak up at halftime or at the beginning of the fourth quarter, we have the people that aren't afraid to speak up and get this team. These are the same guys that got Ryan Day on the right path after the Team Up North loss last year that propelled them to a national championship run. You've seen all of the stories in Bill Rabinowitz's book about that meeting and the conversations that that were had in that locker room with Ryan Day, the tough conversations about needing to get better and addressing things before they become an issue and not waiting until after the fact when they bite them to start addressing them. So I think that you have the vocal leadership on this team that's going to be ready for that moment if it arises. And that's something that I'm going to have my eye on Saturday is what does everyone's face look like on the sideline? I'm hoping by that point they already have the game in hand and they're already celebrating on the sidelines. But, I'd like to see the Buckeyes dancing to Mr. Brightside versus stressing going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I felt like we had those dudes last year as well. I think Ryan Day was just too much in his head to get out of the way of the players last year because players would have went and won that game. They had the opportunity. But we will see this year. I'm with you. There's a lot of dogs on that team. We've talked about it all year. The attitude and the change that we've been talking about of this team personality-wise has shifted so much since when we started covering the team that it's just so much different. So again, this is one of those times where like I'm happy we got two new coordinators. Matt Patricia's never been in the game before. What is he going to revert to? What Matt?
I saw people on the timeline ask. Someone said, "Is Matt Patricia going to be able to handle the pressure? This is the biggest game he's ever coached in." It's like what?
I think Matt Patricia will be all right.
I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and it's going to be a football game to him. He's getting into the rivalry, just starting to learn it, but he's going to revert to, I know how to coach. I'm going to go out there and shut the offense down. And again, Brian Hartline has never really got his crack at it. He's coached his receivers, but he's never really been able to scheme up and really go after people. And what does Brian Hartline revert to? What he knows best, throwing the hell out the ball and getting it to his best players that he has available. So, again, with that confidence of the new coordinators, I'm confident to it, but I'm interested to see what it looks like Saturday. I don't know. We could walk in and they could finally just steamroll Michigan. We'd be like, oh, okay. Like, we feel like that should have happened. We didn't feel like it maybe would happen, but that's what should happen. But I'm interested to see because there's just a lot to play at. Again, I call it parallel universe for a reason. Weird stuff just happens when you play against Michigan. So we will see how it goes. But again, I think Ryan Day, this will be the true test for him. And we talked about it before the season started. He said, and you talked about it, he has one thing left on his list, and that's to beat Michigan. And we talked about the growth of this program all through the year, turning it into an organization, your key word there, and running it like an NFL team. Man, the way recruiting's going, the way this team has been playing, if he is able to get over this hump, college football, look out. It really might be a downhill ride to multiple natties.
I went down a rabbit hole of old tweets and I found one from 2024 and it was the tweet was Ohio State recruiting right now, and the video was someone in the strip club just throwing money. It's like I'm trying to get back to those days of when Ohio State was just throwing money like that. I wanted to circle back to the Matt Patricia comment on Twitter. That just made me laugh. It's like just the idea that Matt Patricia is going to be stressed going into this game. Like, this guy's coached in multiple Super Bowls and he's about to face an 18-year-old quarterback with single-digit touchdown passes. I think bro is sleeping just fine right now.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine with the defense he has behind him, the way they played. Bryce Underwood in maybe years before, you'd be like, man, I'm worried about our linebackers. You're not worried about our linebackers this year. Our linebackers and ends are athletic enough to keep him contained with his legs, and you feel like Michigan's really going to have to come in here, and we talked about the injuries yesterday's show, really going to have to find a way to establish the run and really not make Bryce Underwood not do what he's not comfortable with. But what is Matt Patricia best at? Making quarterbacks do what they don't want to do, making them see something that's not actually there. So it's going to be a true test. I mean, either way, I think Bryce Underwood's going to have a lot to growing up to do all in past Saturday. And Matt Patricia is not the person you want to be trying to grow up against.
No, definitely not the guy you want to be growing up against. Q, I wanted to move on to our next clip from the timeline.
We are experiencing right now the greatest moment in this rivalry maybe ever, and everything is on the line for Ohio State. They don't have one player that has beaten Michigan. And for Michigan, they don't have a single player that has lost to Ohio State. And so as we start to build towards this game, you have to understand that the pressure on Ohio State is immense. And in the Michigan locker room, all they're going to be talking about all week is give us a chance in the second half. All we've got to do is be close. That's all they're going to be thinking about. That's all they've been thinking about for back to 2021 when we went in for meetings before that game. Aiden Hutchinson.
Q, with Klatt saying there as far as Michigan just wanting a chance to keep it close in the second half, how imperative is it for this Buckeye team to get off to a hot start? We said for years, the Buckeyes, they're able to get up 2 touchdowns. It's going to be hard for this Michigan team to come back. What level of confidence do you have in Michigan being able to mount a comeback if the Buckeyes are able to get off to an early lead?
Yeah, I don't have. If Ohio State comes out, handle business, offense clicking on all cylinders, defense is doing what we expect them to do, it's going to be very tough for Michigan to get back in this game. I mean, we referred to it yesterday. This secondary, the blanket society, like seatbelts. It's hard to get open with them. It's hard to create explosive plays. Matt Patricia really doesn't allow that. There's been probably less than a handful all season, especially throwing deep against these corners and safeties. So it'll be tough for them if they allow it to get away from them. I mean, I agree with Joe Klatt. They're probably thinking the same moments where I was talking about. The moments where Urban Meyer's teams would shine in the game and Ryan Day's teams have crumbled. They just want a close game in the second half and something to go their way. And random things like a fumble, an interception, an inopportune play could shift that. But you feel like if the game is they're down 2 scores just trying to get back into it, that moment probably won't come because Ohio State has limited turnovers. They don't really give, outside of maybe a muff punt this season and Julian Sand has thrown a couple picks. They really don't give the ball away that much. Bo Jackson.
2 fumbles, one by Bo Jackson, one by
the ball across the end zone.
I only bring those up because I honestly, 11 games through the season, you really sit back and you think, oh man, the season's practically over. And Q, this has been the most peaceful season watching the Buckeyes. At times, even boring, and I loved it. Like this season was so stress-free. The fact that our fan base, for some reason around the holidays, they start to get a little bit more mean. But for the most part, our fan base has been pretty well behaved throughout the season. The Buckeyes haven't given us anything to be frustrated about. And honestly, the Bo Jackson fumble didn't even irritate me. This has been the first year where like this team hasn't enraged me at any point in the season other than that CJ Donaldson fumble. In what game was that? Q, help me out here. What was that game that CJ Donaldson fumbled right before half? It was
it's not Penn State game. They got back in.
Yes, it was the Penn State game, and I said this team came out and looked so dominant on offense, and just such a small, tiny mistake right before half allows Penn State to crawl back into that game and make it look closer than it was going in the half, despite the Buckeyes being dominant that entire half. And that was the thing that frustrated me so much, that like that was such a small attention to detail type of thing that like the Buckeyes came out and executed. The offense put up 17 in the first half, and outside of that turnover, the defense had already figured out Penn State's offense. You could already tell that they really didn't have much of an answer for this Matt Patricia defense, and to see the score be that close at halftime was just so frustrating because I felt like it kind of squandered what was an overall solid half of football by the Buckeyes. So for us to go 11 games and only really have one frustrating moment, it's been a special season. Q, I don't know about you, but has there been any moments that made you frustrated this season?
It's probably that one and the Brandon Ennis fumble at Washington. I think those two are the ones where he felt like if they didn't make those 2 mistakes, that game is way more of a blowout than it looks like, and we talked about it last year. How many moments did we have last year? We had the Travion Henderson penalty against Texas in the first half. We're like, this is about to be a blowout as long as no one does anything dumb. Unfortunately, Ron, I'll say that, not to say this stuff will happen, but we got some people on this team, and this comes with having an edge, for Ohio State. Not on a personality shift. We do have a couple people on this team that are willing to do something dumb when the moment is right. So
no headbutts on Saturday, please.
No headbutts. No Edric Houston pushing a guy in his face for no reason.
Let me help you with your helmet off, sir.
Yeah, like none of that. Just chill out. But it comes with the territory. But yeah, you feel like those moments have been few and far between. And in this game, like those are so expedited. That momentum shift in this game is like, it's like a tidal wave. It just goes the other way. You feel like one thing and it's like, oh no. Here, and that's the thing. Where is this Ohio State team's mentality at? Is this one of those, all right, we're the better team. Things are going right. We're moving the ball. Oh no, fumble. Here we go again. Like, that's the things you just can't tell. And this, when people talk about the hex against Ryan Day, these players, we are very confident in the players, but they got to feel something saying, I've been here 4 years and I've never beat them. I've been here 3 years. I've never beat them. I've been here a couple years and I was just here last year and I can't tell you what happened.
I can imagine how it sounds, Q.
Never losing to Ohio State, baby. We ain't never losing, baby.
That's how they're talking. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, and it's like you just need a couple things to go around for it to be like it's just like the inevitable. Like something will go wrong, doesn't happen. So I think this will be a true test for them. But luckily, Ohio State has played clean all season. You don't expect them to be too uncharacteristic, and hopefully those moments don't happen. But it'll be a mental test for Ryan Day and the players. If those things do happen, then you'll find out a lot about this team. You find out, can they mentally overcome these things that they just haven't done the last few years?
Yeah, like make a 50-yard field goal. I digress. The last topic of the day from the timeline, Q. We talked about this yesterday, the greatest rivalry in sports. A topic right up that alley.
All right, it is Michigan-Ohio State. If there is a rivalry that approaches the hate of Alabama and Auburn, it is this one.
Approaches?
Come on, Clad. You haven't lived in this state. They live in separate states.
You guys
Clad.
haven't lived in that rivalry.
Clad, they live in separate. They live in separate states. These are the same state. Same state here, Clad. Smaller territory.
I mean, there are people that mumble in church if the pastor references this game the wrong way.
Guys, I love you.
Oh, don't
the
do
Iron
this.
Bowl
Don't do
is
this.
not
Clad, don't
in
do
the
this.
hemisphere of Ohio
You're
State.
out of your mind.
Lance started the show with if 5.5 is a scary number, if Alabama loses this game, he went directly to arrest reports.
Yeah, the arrest reports Sunday morning.
Oh, it will be, I'm telling you, it will be crazy. The people that will be getting arrested overnight.
Just because the Ohio State.
Q. What are they talking about?
Okay, now we unpacked this a little bit yesterday, and I think you and I are in agreement. The fans are probably just as crazy, if not maybe a little crazier, because they have less going on in the South. No offense if you're in Alabama or whatever. There's just more room and opportunity to be
No,
crazy.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Referring to their state as Alabama or whatever is crazy. I wanted to start about with the state conversation, Q. They said, oh, they're not even in the same state. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Michigan has an in-state rival, and it's not their biggest rival because we have a bigger rivalry. Like, what are we talking about?
And we're not going to act like Michigan and Ohio haven't fought over actual land. Neighbors, like they've actually gone to battle over land.
Slide for Toledo.
Yeah, getting this slice of land. So I will say I will give them credit for their fans being maybe just as crazy, maybe more crazy, because like I said, there's less to do in Alabama. But the biggest difference is on Saturday, the actual game is just not as good as the game. You can blame Nick Saban. You can blame Auburn for falling off a cliff. But what did we talk about before? You go back and look at these Ohio State-Michigan games, and the board looks the same. If you look at the last 20 games, for them, you'll see a lot of red and a little bit of blue. For Ohio State, Michigan, you'll see a lot of red, a speckle of blue, and then maybe a little patch at the bottom. It has been more so one-sided, but in the Ohio State, Michigan games, year in, year out, those are good games. You feel like Alabama has gone out there and they have smacked Auburn time and time again, except for a heroic Cam Newton, one of the greatest football games we've ever seen with a kick six return. Like, it took something astronomical for Auburn to win those games in more so recent history. I can't tell you about the 80s and whatever. I wasn't alive then. So what do you want me to do?
I was about to say, when you made that plural, I was like, did he just combine the kick six and Cam Newton?
No. Might as well have been the same game. It's only happened twice. But the Ohio State-Michigan game, year after year, we were talking about these last 4 years where it's like, Michigan has washed Ohio State. All of those have been good games going into the fourth quarter with one or two determining factors that is played. So I just think Ohio State and Michigan is a better rival. They play better games. It's a long-standing rivalry, like they said, but it feels different for a reason. It just is, and it doesn't matter. If Auburn sucks and Alabama is good, I'll guarantee it's going to be a 55-10 win. If Ohio State is great like they were last year and Michigan sucks and shouldn't even be on the same field, they might win. That is the difference in the rivalry. It's played that. You know what? Auburn, Alabama is played in this universe. Ohio State is played in another one where nothing mattered before that game happened. That is the best explanation I give you.
Q. I named the segment talking to the timeline, but I mean, with a delivery like that, our guy Ben Vargo hit me in the DMs the other day and said, you guys need a segment called Cooking with Q spelled with a Q. And I think that would have been a perfect clip for Cooking with Q because I couldn't have made the argument better myself.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just there, and I Ohio State's better more times than not. I wish it was like that, but it's not. And unfortunately, we got to live with that and hop in front of the camera either way it goes. So that is in my version of why the Ohio State Michigan rivalry is better than the Iron Bowl.
Q, that is the last clip that I have from talking to the timeline. I had one more update before we got out of here. A little bit of a weather report from our guy, Ron Snow. For some of you guys that aren't familiar with the origins of Q and I and how the show came to be and how we even met, was us screaming on Twitter Spaces. And our content was a lot different back in the day. We've added some deals and potential things to lose since then. So the content has definitely tamed a bit. But every time I see someone mention the snow in this game, it makes me think of this infamous rant, because this is one of the first produced pieces of content that we have ever put out as creators post just being fans in Twitter Spaces. So the Buckeyes play in Ann Arbor on Saturday, and we have a weather report from our guy Ron Snow.
Is the weather gonna be bad in the Ohio State?
Why you fronting like you? Hey Cam, when did all these fucking meteorologists pop up on this fucking app? Every day, is it gonna rain? How much wind is it? Can they play in the snow? Do they have enough salt before the game? Like, what the fuck? We are Ohio State. We be in the North. We are the king of the fucking North. What do you mean? What's the weather like? It don't fucking matter. We're gonna win it. Put your fucking thumbs back up, fucking Michigan fans. Y'all done it one time in 20 fucking years and think y'all the fucking snow king. Bring that shit to Columbus and get your shit pushed in. We ain't fucking worried about the weather. We definitely ain't worried about the fucking
Bro. Hey, tell him, Ron. Tell him, Ron. Hey, y'all call Cam Ron Snow.
A message from Ron Snow. Q, I listened to that back and it was super funny until it got to the part where it's like, you've done it one time in 20 years, and the realization that I made that ran in 2022 and we haven't beat them ever since.
See, this is one of those things. This is back when Ohio State was putting out terrible pregame videos. I'm just gonna blame it on that. If they had listened to that before the game, we probably would have won.
Q, it sent me down a rabbit hole. I also found from 2022. So for those who don't know, that's the year that we really started making content. We had met in Spaces. We'd interviewed Troy Smith and kind of snowballed from there. Ended up doing live watch-alongs on Playback for a year. That was before we even started podcasts. That the fact that we landed to deal with Playback just from talking in Spaces, insanity from there. But we started making content just because people wanted content from us after the nonsense that we did in Spaces. And we made a Sarah McLachlan NIL video after the second loss to Michigan of like, hey, I don't know what's going on here, but everybody get their money together because I can't keep losing to them. And we got our money together and we're still losing to them. So Q, I don't know, maybe another Sarah McLachlan video if things don't go well.
Oh man, I remember that video so well. Had them looking like NFL All-Pro receivers, man. Oh God, that defense, man. that brings back rough memories of like, why are y'all running into each other? Jesus Christ, get some DBs here. Where is there a dude named Tim Walton out there somewhere?
Oh man, yeah, Q. Just going down that trip of down memory lane of all of this old content throughout this rivalry, I'm like, I'm not making any more edits. Like, what? I'm not using highlights from these last couple games. Like, give me some highlights to use. Like, I'm not going back into the art. It's been so long since we beat Michigan. We don't got HD highlights of beating Michigan. Q.
Yeah, that classic when HD first started, where your TV would be smaller than the actual full. Do you remember that? Like 3 bars on the side and your TV is in the
They're like, oh, it's widescreen. Make it full screen then.
Oh my goodness, it's too funny. It's been a while, man. Again, we're trying to break some streaks Saturday, so everybody just do something a little bit different than the last 4 years, and we'll be all right.
I told myself that I was going to give a warning about how vulgar that clip was before and completely forgot, and I'm definitely not adding it in post. So if anyone's still listening after that and they're mad, I'm sorry. We've cleaned up the content since, but I thought it would be a fun trip down memory lane from one of the, Q, I had like 600 followers at the time, and like that did thousands of likes on Twitter. So that was like one of our first pieces of content that kind of started going viral and started this whole mess of chaos that has become now Dead Air Sports in its newest iteration. So just thought that would be a fun one to revisit.
Yeah, I think about it's that one, and then the Chris Drew tell people to transfer to Illinois, tell them to transfer to Ball State. The opening of the state of the program. Those were like the OG clips.
Oh, I mean the CJ people still troll us over the takes that we had about CJ Hicks, but hey, he's gonna redshirt, and that the lies are still alive. The lies are still alive. Q.
One of these days, he's gonna be Arvell Reese will leave. He'll be Arvell Reese next year. That will not.
No, he's gonna be in Larry's room. But Q. Oh, before we get any other bad ideas,
sorry,
let the people know where they can find you. Hey, no more laughing either. Too much giggling going on. Having fun, enjoying yourself.
That may not happen or be possible, but what is possible is we will be here all week at Dead Air Sports covering the game. You know what it is. Like the video, hit that sub button. Again, what are we at? Almost 4,400 subs. So trying to get to that 5,000 mark by the end of the game on Saturday, which we will be celebrating Ohio State victory. I will guarantee it after the game because that's apparently what we do around here. So you'll wait for that. But you know where to find us here Monday through Friday. I am City Boy Quidden on Twitter. I am Flying It on Instagram. Flying It Johnson on Instagram. Most importantly, here Monday through Friday on Dead Air Sports with my guy Ron. Where can they find you at?
If you want to find me, you can find me right here on Dead Air Sports. Monday through Friday for the Buckeye Roast at 10 a.m. right here with my guy Q. You can catch me in the Bleacher Report app for instant reactions to every game with Chris Drew in the Ohio State team stream. And you can catch me on Twitter at 2Ts. That's 2_TES. Q. You know how this thing ends. It's always go Bucks. And of course, OH.
IO.
Example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can, you fight. That's our culture.
I promised you we had a plan. Remember that we talked about a plan? The plan was infallible. Part of that infallible plan is getting a team prepared, ready to go, so we start practice. Our coaches know what we got. And there's not one person in America I trusted more than Coach Mick and that staff. Think about this. 130 teams either today they report or they've already reported. 130. 16 weeks from now, there's going to be one champion. One champion in our conference, one champion on the side of our conference. And in the country, one team's going to do this. Not 36, not 48, not 44, one. That tells you how hard it is to be a champion. To do right all the time. To know your assignments. To have 11 guys play hard on every snap. That's hard. That's why there's one. I want a hungry team. I want a hungry team. I want a team that can't wait to get out there. Where there's a bunch of players that maybe, whenever you have a new coaching staff, you haven't played much, maybe you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're a hungry football player. I want a hungry team. And last one, most importantly, I've got to coach a few of them. I want an angry team. I want a pissed off football team. I want a team that has a little chip on their shoulder. Maybe something's been taken from you. Maybe something hasn't. Maybe something's been taken from you. Are you a team that's going to go get it?